Hello guys and dolls, welcome back. Today I am doing the warm version of a silver eye with a red lip. I want to kind of address a couple things that I said in my last video because a lot of you guys got hung up on the words blue based. So I don't want you to think of it in terms of the undertone. I'm very lucky. I have a very good eye for color. I can tell whether things are cool or warm or blue based or has a little bit of mauve and all these like weird things. I need to figure out a way to explain how to tell the difference in colors other than just basic color theory, because it's a little bit more just beyond basic color theory. And that's something I need to do, and I need to find a way to express myself because it's all very internal for me and very intuitive in terms of picking colors. The thing I want you to take away from these videos is the difference between warm and cool. And I think that there's a lot of leeway with makeup, you know, there's no makeup rules and that kind of thing. However, there are certain specific looks that are best if you do them this way or this way and maybe don't mix, because let's just be honest, a warm orange based red lipstick with a blue eyeshadow, they clash rather than complement. Even though they should be complementary colors, sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you'd like to learn how I created a warm version of our silver eye and red lip, then let's get started. So today we are starting out with Urban Decay Primer Potion all over the lids just to keep us primed and ready for the shadows. The next thing we're going to do is set down a secondary base. So this is Grow Licious or Luscious, I'm not really sure, by Revlon. It is a long-lasting waterproof pencil. The shade of this is Onyx. You can use the Milani Liquify pencil as well. I just find that this one's a little bit creamier and it actually doesn't set quite as fast, which for a, an eyeshadow base is great. So we're just going to take that all along the lower lash line at first, and you'll notice I'm placing my finger here, but I'm not pulling on the eye. You just want to hold it steady. Then what you're going to do is you're going to look down like this. Some of it will transfer, and that's where you know you basically want to stop the liner there. Taking a small e.l.f. brush, and I'm just going to run it along the edge of that to smudge it out. You don't need it to be super perfect, you just don't want it to be a harsh line. And again, you'll notice I'm placing my fingers on my face, but I'm not really pulling, I'm just holding it in place. Not everyone necessarily needs to hold their face in place. You start being a little more conscious of aging, you definitely want to make sure that you're not putting a lot of stress on the skin, so holding it in place while you blend is a really good idea. I found myself doing this a lot on clients, and I decided to adopt the practice as well, doing my own makeup, and I find that it works really well. So once you've got your base all over, you can see it's not perfect. There's some, funniness going on, but we're going to cover it all up with eyeshadow. It just needs to be there to make the eyeshadow colors change slightly, make them a little deeper. So now we're going to use Sugar Pills Bulletproof, which is a nice matte black. I chose this because it doesn't have a blue undertone, so it's not going to react funny when we put on our orange red lipstick. And I'm using this with a flat shader brush, placing that right in that outer corner. And then it might be a little bit difficult for you to see since it's black on black, but you really just want to keep that in the outer third for now. There's going to be plenty of time to add more later, but with dark colors, well, really with anything, you can always add more later, but you can't necessarily take it away. So be cautious of it, just kind of work in little increments until you have what you need or want. To blend that out a bit, I'm going to use the MAC 286 brush. This is a recent launch. It's kind of like a softer version of a 224 brush. It's used primarily for blending, and it is expert at blending. It's fantastic. I really like this brush. Now it's time to start in with our silvers. Now I've opened my silver palette here. This is where I keep like my silvers, my grays, and my blacks. These little tags here are for shadows that I know I need to depot to put in this palette, just so you're aware of what's going on with the tags. Anyway, so as you can see, most of my silvers have a cool tone. You could call it a blue undertone. It definitely basically is a blue undertone, but just for the sake of not confusing you, they have a cool look to them. There are a few in here that don't look overtly cool toned, and that's these three right here. This one right here is called Smoke and Diamonds, and it is a fantastic warm silver pewter, whatever you want to call it, eyeshadow. It's like silver laced with gold. It's really, really beautiful. Unfortunately, it was discontinued. So what we're going to do today is use other shadows to recreate that look. So we're going to start out, I'm going to grab my brown palette, and in here there's a color called Satin Taupe. Satin Taupe is a bit of a chameleon color. It can be very brown, it can be very silver, it can be very taupe, which is not surprising given its name. It's one of those colors that's incredibly popular for a reason. It's just really beautiful, really, really pigmented if you can see, wonderful texture, and it's just fabulous. There's lots of dupes of it out there, but I haven't found any that really quite capture the essence of Satin Taupe. Now I'm all waxing poetic about an eyeshadow. Softly blending it into the black we have over here. And then also applying it on the inner corner. And then just making sure there's a nice soft edge to the outside. Do you see how that silverness in it is really coming out? It doesn't look so much brown anymore. But the brown base of it is what's going to stop it from looking too cool toned. Alright, the next shadow we're going to use is from Wet n Wild. It's called Nutty. It's one of the colors that I mentioned is considered a dupe for Satin Taupe, but it's just not quite there. This one has a little bit more of a silvery look to it, and it's a bit more frosty, and it's also lighter. It's quite different actually. I'm going to use this as the third color in our, 3-color eye type placement thing. I'm going to use a pencil brush. This is also from the Sigma Vegan line. I really like these brushes. And I'm just placing that right there in the inner bit here. And you see how that just adds a little bit more of a silver tone overall? What we have right now in terms of colors is very, very close to Smoke and Diamonds that we're trying to recreate. It doesn't quite have enough of that gold tone. So what I'm going to do is take this eyeshadow. It's called Patina. It has sort of a muted patinaed gold, so it's very perfect for this sort of tarnished version of silver. So I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. Just pick up a bit of the shadow, not loads of it, since we're not trying to deposit a lot of color. You just want to wash. And we're just going to wash that over our silver colors. And the effect is very, very subtle. In fact, I'm not entirely sure if you can tell the difference on camera. And I look like a goober like, can you see a difference? But in person, it's beautiful. These little subtle things that you do really are what make a look come together rather than just look like a bunch of stuff thrown together. I want to add just another little hint of brown just to keep this from going too cool. I'm going to take Wedge eyeshadow from MAC and our 260 or 286 brush again. Just take it through the whole entire socket line around the edge of the entire eyeshadow. Right now it's time to share with you guys one of my highlighting secrets. So I like to use 2 shades of a neutral light highlight, one that's slightly lighter than the other. So I'm going to go in first with Blanc Type and a flat brush. I'm going to use that color right up against my under eyebrow or underbrow or whatever. Then I'm going to take a larger brush. This is the Sigma P84. It has sort of an angle to it here. It's going to help with our blend. And now I'm taking Brulee eyeshadow. And I'm going to run it right here on the underbrow that we didn't touch yet, since we don't necessarily need this little part right here super highlighted. And then we're going to run it down the eye a little bit to meet the outside of our colorful, or in this case, non-colorful eyeshadows, are black and grays and browns and etc. And just use this brush to give you a nice blend, and that way you still get a nice lift from Blanc Type, but Brulee is a little bit closer to my actual skin color, so it helps to transition it a little bit more nicely, and it's not as stark as using just Blanc Type alone. So before I move on to eyeliner and everything that would complete this look, I need to remove my fallout. So what I've been really liking to do lately is using the MAC Mineralized Charged Water Cleanser. It's sort of like a cleanser and toner in one. It leaves your skin feeling nice and soft and not stripped or anything like that. I wouldn't rely on this as a cleanser just to wash your face though. What I like to use it for is just to remove the fallout. So just take this right along the under edge of the eye And when you get to this portion, you want to be very delicate. You don't want to just go in there and wipe. We're trying to have that soft, smoked out effect. So maybe just take it right up to there and kiss it. And then wipe inwards. To cut down the time of this video, I had to cut out the portion where I apply my foundation. So I just want to give you guys a really brief rundown. I did a full coverage foundation today. I used Makeup Forever HD. For concealers, I also went for full coverage. I mixed a combination of MAC's NW15 and NW20 Select Cover Up Concealer. Really, really great concealer, you guys. I mixed that in with a bit of Prep and Prime highlighting pen thingy highlighter in Radiant Rose, just on the high points of my face, around my cheeks, my nose, my chin, things like that. Then I set everything all over with the Purely Cosmetics Diamond Powder. Now the eyes are already so smoky that I don't feel the need to make a bold statement with my eyeliner, so I'm just going to draw a thin strip with my Physicians Formula Eye Booster. This is the marker pen thing I use in a lot of my videos. It has a brush tip, so I really like it. You can get a nice thin, precise line. And you know what? I really ought to have a mirror instead of trying to do it from a mirror that's like a foot away. So let me do that. Alright guys, so I just had a major makeup meltdown. I went to apply my eyelashes, which are the Sugar Pill Pixie Balm. They just came out. They're amazing. Unfortunately, I thought for some reason I might be able to fit them on my eye without cutting them down, which most lashes I usually have to cut down. These ones I definitely should have, and I didn't, so they were poking my inner eye, and then I had my eyes teared up. I had to take my contacts out. It was a nightmare. So unfortunately, the parts of this video where I show applying mascara, false lashes, liner, and things like that are going to be cut out. I feel like you guys have seen me do these things enough times that it's okay. I mean, you guys have, you know, pretty much seen me do it a million times. If not, I'm going to have a link in the down bar to a tight lining video, to an eyeliner video, and to a false lash video. Cool? Anyway, so we're going to move on to lips. So I'm going to start with Prep and Prime Lip. This is the primer I always use, and this is actually the one I keep in my purse, so it actually has a little bit of color on it, so ignore that. So the last time I used the lip primer in one of my videos, I got a lot of questions about why I like the lip primer or what's the use. For me, the main purpose is just that it helps to keep your lipstick in place, and it helps to make sure it doesn't feather or anything like that. Because it's like a silicone barrier or whatever, it doesn't work very well with lip glosses in terms of just keeping them on, but it does work really well with lipstick. The other question I got a lot was a lot of people wanted to know why I didn't use a lip liner. Because I'm using a lip brush and the lip primer, the lip liner is not necessary. So if you like to use lip liner, then go for it. For lipstick today, I'm going to use Lady Danger. I knew all along I was going to use Lady Danger, so I'm not going to do the lipstick selection. This is a vermilion, which is one of my favorite words. It's a orange toned red. So we're going to use a lip brush to apply this. This is the Sigma L05. Using a Sigma L05, I'm starting at the Cupid's bow and starting to map that out. Then I spread the lip color all the way down my mouth. Fill it in with the lipstick, and then I start to work on the bottom. I tend to actually like to start from one edge, bring it to the center, and then start from the other edge, and then bring it to the center on my bottom lip. Everyone has a different method that works for them, so just use what works for you. And then after, you know, my lip is fully filled in, I like to go in and get a little closer to my mirror and really take care of those edges, make sure everything's nice and crisp. Alright, so now that I have this orange lip and, you know, really dark eye makeup, I feel like I look a little ghostly. So I'm going to use Cargo's Rome eyeshadow. This is sort of an orange peach pink. It's a nice shimmer to it. Just really get some of that on the cheeks. So that is our complete look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I really hope that you learned something. Now that you can see the warm version and the cool version, I hope that you can tell the difference and maybe see how this orangey lip, or warm lip, I don't want to get hung up on colors per se, but a warm red lip would look not so great with the cool toned silver eyeshadows. I will say though that you can actually pair the cool toned red lip with this eyeshadow. It would be fine. It's just something about a warm orangey lip with a blue eyeshadow is just like very scary to me. Anyway, that's just my own personal preference, but of course this channel is from my point of view. So I hope that you guys all learned something. I hope you were entertained, and until next time, remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be yourself. See you, bye.